Hello and welcome once again, film fans. As ever, I'm your host Luke, and you are listening to the Quick Shot Reviews podcast, where we talk about films in 10 minutes or less, and I give you my views on the films I've been to see. That does not mean that they are good, they are bad, they're just my views. If you want to go and see these films, please go and see them. This is what makes cinema great, and I will stick by that until the day I die. Today, we are talking about Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Is it one step too far? Or should I say one step too far? Because we've got another character being introduced here in Shadow the Hedgehog. How many more characters can come in? Well, they did a teaser towards the end of this film, and there's quite a few characters that can come into Sonic, but let's talk about this one, shall we? So, it does follow Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails, of course. They are the Sonic team, Team Sonic. They are almost like a team of Power Rangers that get called upon whenever the world is in trouble, specifically America, because, that's the way it works. The same with Avengers. Shadow is introduced. He's a mysterious villain with superpowers unlike anything they have ever faced before. Sonic goes in with his his mightiness, and he's like, I'll sort this out, and and he doesn't, to put it bluntly. And then there's a bit of peril because the team's sort of breaking up and stuff like that. And they partner with Robotnik, of all people. Of course, Jim Carrey chews the scenery away here, and he plays two characters in Ivor Robotnik and Gerald Robotnik. Of course, they are grandson and granddad, and they even have a dance-off through the film, which is great. That's probably one of the best bits of this film. Ben Schwartz again voices Sonic. You got Keanu Reeves voicing Shadow. Idris Elba expertly voices Knuckles. I would have smashed things. Then you've got Colleen O'Shaughnessy playing Tails. And that's pretty much your lot, really. And then there's characters being introduced all the time throughout the film. So Jeff Fowler is the director of this one, and Pat Casey did the screenplay. Now, for me, this one is probably the weakest of the three, and I'm just going to get that out there now. Even though it seems that this one has a better Metascore than the other two. I thought this one was weak. I thought it was a bridge too far. It still has all the charm, but it didn't bring anything new. And apart from Jim Carrey having two characters, which is absolutely great, there wasn't a lot that was different from this one that wasn't in the first two. A new villain's introduced, Sonic defeats the villain, blah, 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 Dr. Robotnik, blah, blah, blah. There you go. It is funny, it is charming, and it does have its own character. You can't really go wrong with Sonic. Sonic is brilliant. I was brought up on Sonic. I was always a Sega kid, and Sonic is part of my childhood. So I'll always, I'll still go and see Sonic movies, regardless of how many they bring out. But for me, this one was a step too far for the franchise, simply because, like I say, it didn't really bring anything new to the concept of what it is. So, I mean, if it's not broken, why fix it, eh? But like I say, nothing new. A new character in Shadow, which was pretty cool, but kind of falls flat for me. That being said, looking at what people thought, and it's across the board that people loved it. And yeah, I mean, I thought it was all right. I thought it was okay. Jim Carrey was the best thing about this. It's brilliant. He's brilliant. The voiceovers are great as well. And you know, they've definitely got something special with this franchise. It's, like I say, it's okay, but it's underwhelming with what it brings to the table. I don't want to give too much of it away, because obviously if you're looking at watching this on streaming services, I'm sure it'll be available very, very soon. Then I don't want to spoil that for you, because I like people to make up their own mind, and that is the beauty of cinema. And once again, I saw this with a friend, and he thought it was great. And yeah, I mean, it was watchable and it was fun, but it just lacked that, certain something that was, yeah, just that made the first two really special. Certainly the first one. It's not bad by any means, and I've seen some pretty bad trilogy films as far as it goes. Some pretty bad non-trilogy films as well, but this is not a bad film. Let's get this out there. It's not a bad film. The score is great. The animations are great. The acting is there, and you get introduced to the scenery as it comes. You know, you got the big Robotnik spaceships and all the mad things that you get in the game as well. Obviously they live in basically what is the Green Hill Zone. You got all the nostalgic songs from the games in there as well. And yeah, I mean, it's certainly watchable, but for me, it's not something I'd go running back to anytime soon. But that being said, if you have seen it, or you're planning to see it, or once you've seen it, tell me. Get in touch, leave us a comment, let us know what you thought of this film. If you don't agree with my thoughts on Sonic 3, tell me why. I'm always open to discussion. The great thing about a film, as I mentioned earlier, is that it's really, really subjective. One person could absolutely love a film, another person could absolutely hate it, and that's what makes cinema great. That's what makes cinema absolutely unique to any other form of entertainment. Because if you love cinema, you'll go and see the films regardless. Completely different to TV, where if you don't want to watch something, you won't go and watch something. But in cinema, something might take your fancy and you go and watch it, and then you don't like it. And that's, like I say, it's what makes cinema great. Anyway, like I say, if you've seen the film, get in touch. This is it for this episode of the Quick Shot Reviews for Cheap Shot Entertainment, and I have been your host Luke, and you are the Cheap Shot Nation, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Hiya.